אתה יכול להעביר את זה לשם.
I started.
Oh. Oops.
Hello. We are on the live stream again. It is Monday, 6:30 EST PM, obviously. And we are
Here.
we're back.
We're back?
I mean, we're back again.
We're back again.
Yeah, it's that
But
time of the week.
We were here.
We were here
And we're still here.
we're still here. We are, that's true. At
We're
least
still alive.
still alive. Allegedly.
More or less.
I don't know. Zombies could
I
be
had a
real.
weird day.
What?
Nothing worked today
I had the
somehow.
same. It was the same for me.
So one of my technical pens, like this, the Rotring brand,
Yeah.
it works. So ink comes out of the pen, but it's like drawing a dashed line, because it works and then it stops. It works and then it stops. And also it's thinner than the thickness it's supposed to be. So I tried, so I stopped everything. I couldn't do, because I don't have another one the same size.
You should always have a backup.
I do have a backup, but it's clogged.
So you don't have a backup.
I have the backup is the microns, but I don't like drawing with microns. I only use them at shows.
So let's put it this way. This device that you use, how important is this for your day-to-day work?
I have two.
No,
Okay.
wait. First, how important is this? Do you use it daily?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say have a backup that works, not a clogged backup.
I thought it works, but it's...
Oh, you didn't know your backup was also inoperable?
That's what I'm saying. It was a weird day.
Yeah.
So I tried to clean the Rotring one.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, it didn't work. And then I tried to clean the backup one.
Mm-hmm.
But it works, but it's a bit
wonky,
finicky.
Right.
It's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So then I had to use microns, and I don't like using microns. I don't know why, because they work, they're okay. But I think it's because the actual ink color is brighter than actual working black ink.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit gray. It's not gray, it's black, but it's lighter black.
Right.
But they work all the time. Maybe I should go back to use microns. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, but it feels less professional. I don't know why.
I think a lot of professionals use microns.
I know, but I like the refillables, but it takes time to handle them, to take care of them.
The good thing
now
about
I have
microns,
2 of them inside a small bucket of water.
You put soap in there?
Just a little bit.
Warm water?
Yeah.
So you're waiting for it to diffuse a little bit, to maybe unclog it or something?
Yeah, I'll keep it there for a night, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that turns out. I was doing some masking for painting, and each time I put down a piece of masking tape, it either stuck to a different piece of masking tape and lifted the previous one off, or it was almost the right size and I had to cut it, but when I cut it, it pulled it off, and every single thing I did made me just go deeper into the rabbit hole, and I wasn't getting anything done. I was just trying to fix mistakes constantly all day long.
This was exactly my day.
So it must be something in the air.
I was supposed to do a double today. Yeah. Maybe you can switch
Oh, first I wanted to show for anyone who knows what this is.
What is it?
It's from a movie. It's from the movie Mean Girls.
Okay.
Very memeable.
I was supposed to do this double.
Yeah.
It's a map So each chapter in Helix Sky starts with a map of the because it's a linear space. So the story is like looks like
Geochronological.
geochronological, yes. So the first chapter was underground, and this is ground level of the city, and it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the scenes.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to. Usually I do a double ink a day, but it's not. It's not even halfway done. So that's what happened today. It was not an easy. And I also started doing the music with I don't know if anybody saw, but I started. So I compose music sometimes. If you saw my other videos, all the music in the videos is mine. For the trailers and for all of the like behind the scenes videos we made, the music is mine. So I'm not a musician, but I like to play with stuff. I don't really know how to, like, I learned the piano when I was a kid, but I don't really know how to play, but I know how to play with a computer. So I was watching a show, a rock concert of Tom York in Sydney, in the Opera House, and
Continue.
Hi, Rob and Jamie. And no, I can't. My mind can't handle two separate
You don't have to
conversations.
handle two separate
Yeah,
conversations.
we can. Let's answer like together to be
Okay, but first
better.
finish your thought, and then I was gonna say
it's
you don't have
hard.
to look at the screen. I take care of that.
I know.
You talk, and when it's time for you, when you finish talking, I'll tell you what the people say.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't. I guess it with age comes a little bit of not OCD, like some sort of attention disorder. Never mind. So I saw a concert by Tom York, and you know what, when they have in music shows, they have VJ or visuals. So the visuals, they do sometimes they do a like an effect on the visuals that the music affects the visuals themselves. So it's like
You stop looking at the screen. Just talk about. It's not the first time we've done the moderated stream.
Yeah.
You do your thing, and when it's time for you to know information, I'll let you know. That's it. Stop looking at the screen right now.
Okay.
Stop it. Look at the camera.
So I no, but maybe I can answer the questions.
I know how. Let me do my thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a visual effect, and the music like activates the effect, right?
Yes.
So it like moves it in a way that the waveforms of the music affects the visuals. So I thought about doing the opposite, because I'm not a musician, but I'm an artist. So I thought about maybe doing the same thing, but like converting or making the art itself affect or do something to music. So I think I've done it, but it's pretty basic right now. But if you watch you can watch my videos from today, and I used a software maybe instead of the JoJo's, I'll show JoJo's next time because it's
No,
going
they've
to...
been waiting for the JoJo's. We'll show it
yeah.
after your experiment.
okay.
You do the experiment, then we'll show it.
Because it's a very long explanation. So I'm using a hand tracker. So it's a software that tracks my hand, and my hands, when I move my hands when I draw, it affects the music itself. So I compose like a music that is designed in a way that my hands will affect it. So I've done one, and I think it's nice. Maybe I'll do some more in the future. And I think it's a nice idea. It's like visuals and music together. So it's not like the drawing itself creates the music or affects the music. It's more my hand movements. But my hand
Is
are
related.
moving. It's related to the art
to the
itself.
ink, yeah.
Okay, let's do JoJo's fast.
Okay. JoJo a go-go.
I didn't remove the...
That's
5.
okay.
Not cheap. But it's a hardcover.
It's not that expensive, actually. Was it US?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
US.
okay. So it's a bit more than I thought.
This is cool. I like this.
Yeah.
It's printed on a transparent paper.
What's the deal with the vinyl?
No. I also really like this design. It reminds me of the old Google, the first Google logo.
Yeah.
Like the old one from the 90s.
Back when their motto was "Don't be evil."
Yeah. Yeah, so JoJo's, obviously it's very weird, and the design is very intricate.
It's
A lot
just
of detail.
maximalist to the core.
This is cool. They have a Egyptian dress. There is some Egyptian theme here. I have another JoJo's, but this is better. The art here, because sometimes the art is a bit like, especially the anatomy, is that's weird. He has like a cleavage, man cleavage. What is this?
That's, I think.
Oh, it's a robot. Right?
Yeah, like an android.
What's the name of the Japanese artist that does the sexy robot?
I can never remember his name off by heart. I think it's because I never owned a book by him, but I'll tell you.
I'm pretty sure it's markers. Yeah, this looks like markers.
He's famous.
Watercolor and markers.
Hajime Sorayama.
Okay.
Yeah, Sorayama sounds very familiar.
The hat is the hat.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Like
Rob says you can't sit with us because he saw the shirt that I'm wearing, and from the movie Mean Girls. And yeah, they sort of accept a new girl that arrives at their school to the popular girls' table at lunch, but they give her these rules. And one of the rules is, I think, you can only wear a ponytail one time a week. And if you wear it more than once a week, you can't sit with us. And you can't wear training pants in the middle of the week. If you do, you can't sit with us. So yeah, I rewatched the movie about a week ago with my niece.
This is very cool.
And it was really nice. Yeah.
It's cool. You can. It feels like a pin.
Yeah. It's so crazy because the colors, they shouldn't go together when you have everything going on the same. But because the shapes themselves are so extreme, it makes it work.
Yeah. The hair. Yeah, this is probably done the background is done digitally, I think, because look at the
Yeah,
glow of, or it might be
airbrushed.
airbrush,
Could be.
maybe.
Yeah, could be.
But how did they make the blue so
What?
even? It's
I
like
mean,
the same color
yeah, that's what.
without any
But if you have an
texture.
even surface and you're spraying evenly, you're gonna get an even.
Oh, you think the background is done with
It's
airbrush?
possible. Yeah, it's possible.
This looks like airbrush.
And you can always, if there are some imperfection, you can always edit them out after you take the photo. I think they go through editing anyway, right?
No,
Because
this looks digital. No,
yeah,
look at the background.
it could be that all of the coloring is mostly digital. That's also
No,
made to look.
No, the coloring is not like the characters. This is, you see the
Paint,
texture of the
yeah,
paint.
you see the brush, the brush strokes
here as well.
Yeah.
I was just saying about the like the flat color background.
Yeah, it's probably digitally.
Like here.
I
Only
mean,
the background.
yeah, I mean, this is not painted, obviously.
Yeah,
so.
this is part of the design of the book. It's not from the art itself, but it might be also be a airbrush, like you said.
Yeah, I don't think so though. The more you flip through it, it looks like it's been edited and some of the backgrounds have been flattened digitally. Yeah,
I actually like it better like black and white.
yes, I know why though too. Because there's so much going on, both in metallics and flats, and you have weird shapes and a high contrast. Cool. There's so much going on that the color is also so very extreme. It's just too much information. It attacks your, and I guess that's what they're going for.
Even though this is very cool, the colors.
Yeah, that is cool. But this is more muted too.
Yeah.
So the colors blend in with each other better there. Same for the purple frame.
I really like the way it draw faces.
Yeah.
Like the nose, it's very angular.
Yeah, it almost looks like an animal nose.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, this is for sure in digital. It's probably done traditionally with a white background. Yeah, it's a cool book. I like this.
Yeah.
It actually looks interesting from the
other
this side.
Yeah.
Okay, I flipped through it pretty fast because we were talking about things not working.
Yeah. Well, it really does have a lot of striking pages for sure. And I like the fact that the frames are all different sizes. Some of them are full pages. Some of them have like multiple smaller frames in the page.
Yeah.
Cool to
now
look through.
Now I can't find the page I was gonna do today.
Maybe you put it in the drawer.
No, it's here. Yeah. So today I didn't finish chapter or issue 2 yet because I do have this. This is the last double of issue 2. And today I think we'll start with issue 3, which the first 5 pages, it's a Helix Sky. So the first 5 pages of 3 are already done because they were part of the Ashcan that we gave out at New York Comic-Con.
Hey, Supergirl on Fire. How are ya? Yeah, some of the work definitely does look like it's inspired by Versace, or Versace, as some say.
Versace.
Yeah,
Who
Versace.
says that?
It's a running joke. I don't know whether it's an urban legend, but I wouldn't put it past some people to not really know much about fashion and just read the word as Versace.
Mm.
It's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in the JoJo's, certainly there's some maximalist high fashion energy going on in there. I would
Yeah,
be very surprised.
I think he was actually inspired by one of the designers, fashion designers.
Yeah,
I think I read somewhere about something like that. He was inspired by one of the like high fashion designers.
hmm Yeah, there's also, it also reminds me of, oh, what was his name? Like one of the most famous, it's just the name eludes me at the moment. One of the most famous fashion designers. Um, he also had like extravagant, big, blocky colors and also mix and match patterns.
Louis Vuitton.
No, not Louis Vuitton. Um, uh, John Paul.
Gaultier.
Yes, I think John Paul Gaultier had also some work. Yeah, definitely. Like I'm gonna bring it up on the screen, but you can tell that some of it is also very, very that. So we have this. I mean, these pieces that look, there's like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of striking, bold, juxtaposed colors and textures.
Yeah, I think the creator of JoJo's, he was working on something else before that, and he was inspired by high fashion, and then he was like he decided to do something more extreme
Yeah,
because he thought that that might attract more attention. And it's always true that when you do something extreme that looks different.
it says inspired by the work of Antonio Lopez and Tony Viramontes.
JoJo's,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
which
let's.
are they are designers.
Yes, I don't know them, but I'm gonna look for them and I have it on the screen as well if anyone's interested. It's on the left side of the screen at the moment. Here, let me see. So it's, I don't know if I'm finding, yeah, definitely. I mean, so it looks like, um, if you can look now, you can see like a marker sketch here, Antonio Lopez.
Oh yeah,
So definitely.
yeah.
And then the second one, we'll take a look at that.
But this is for the not for the design, but for the maybe style of the
Yeah,
drawing.
styling, just styling, makeup, styling, hair. And then the second one, oh, I mean, just the first image, you can tell. Look at
Yeah,
this.
for sure.
The clashing patterns
Mm-hmm.
and the drama. Yeah,
Yeah,
all of like the body
this is
drawing.
actually very cool.
It is very
I would
cool.
wear the shirt on the
The shirt,
bottom. Yeah,
yeah. And also, is this kinesio tape or is it, yeah, I think it's tape, like cut and stuck on.
or
Because look at here,
yeah,
right?
maybe.
But definitely. Yeah, I'd also say probably it would be interesting to ask Araki who his favorite fashion designers are. That would be an interesting conversation.
I think we saw like a documentary about
Oh
him.
yeah, the AI info also did say Versace. Yeah, you're right. There's no contending the fact that there's a lot of Versace influence in, yeah.
But he likes the like it's part of the name. He likes the bizarre.
Yeah.
It's Versace, but it's more, I think it's more extreme, even more weird. Like all the like chains attached to the
Yeah.
lapel.
Actually, I'm gonna ask the Google Gemini, is it, or AI? I'm gonna ask it the opposite question. I'm gonna say, which designer
Was inspired by
style,
Iraqi.
no, which designer's style is most similar to the character design in JoJo's? Let's see what it says. It says, yeah, Versace, closely followed by Gucci and Mugler. Oh, Mugler, I didn't even think about that as an option, but yeah, I can see it. Let's see. Yeah, Mugler for sure.
There's also something very androgynous about the figures that he draws.
Mm-hmm.
Like the males and females they look almost the same.
Right. So you are inking a page from Helix Sky.
Yeah, I'm back to inking Helix Sky. I had a long pause on it.
Yeah.
Because I had to work on the thing that we can't say.
That which shall not be named.
Exactly. So I'm almost finished with it. I finished. I've done all the inking, and I colored, I think 70% of it. So I have just a few more pages to color.
Do you know when it's going to be coming out?
Probably it's gonna take some time, but I don't really know.
Usually, by the time you start drawing,
And you always say usually by the time.
I crack open a can of soda, which is what I just did right now. And today it is the cherry flavored bubbly.
When I draw like in this part of the stream, I'm not looking at the chat, and that's the reason I'm not.
Yeah, but you know that I am on the chat.
I know, but it's not like distracting for me as it was before.
Right.
I think I wasn't, like when I was younger, I wasn't ADHD or anything like that. I don't think I am now.
No, probably not.
But yeah,
I think it's more about control than ADD.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same, right? You want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But we've been doing this for a while now. I don't know how many moderated streams we've done so far. It should be around like maybe 30.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So you should know by now that whenever anyone says something, I usually say it out loud, and questions that they ask, I wait for you to finish talking and then I ask you the question.
Yeah.
Or sometimes for me to finish talking, because I've been very talkative lately.
Were you?
Yeah, I think that as time goes by, I talk more on the streams.
Really?
Yeah.
Like as time goes by in the stream itself?
No, as we've done more and more streams.
Oh. I think that's the point of the stream, because during the week I can't speak.
So sadly, we can't say anything about the project that you're finishing up.
No, we can't.
The one that you sort of took a break from Helix Sky to work on, and now you're back on Helix Sky.
Yeah, but as soon as we can.
Yeah, as soon as we can, we'll let you know. It is exciting, and it's sort of, I guess, how can I say it in a way that wouldn't give it up? But you know, when you get to work on something that you also like personally. So for instance, working with a brand that you've always enjoyed or a musician that you listen to. I've had the pleasure of doing that, of working with musicians that I loved from before we worked together.
Yeah, me too.
And you as well. And yeah, so this is something, it's along those lines.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know as soon as.
I worked with Mark Foster.
Yeah, you might still continue to work with them, I'm guessing, but you work with Foster the People.
And you worked with
I worked,
Anima.
with Anima, and I made a visualizer for Grimes, 3D animated. So that was really cool because I've always enjoyed Grimes music and still listen to it. Yeah, but we are back on Helix Sky.
Yeah, we are.
And can you say anything about this page that you're inking at the moment?
Yeah, so the story progresses as we explained before. It progresses instead of in linear chronological time. It progresses in linear space. So you see scene after scene, like the space progresses, but the time is all around the place. It's not like you can see a scene like at a specific location, and the next scene will be like a location close to the previous scene, but the time will be a different time. So that's the whole concept of the story. And
so there's also no chronological order inside each given space, right? It's not like space 1, it's told in chronological order, and then space 2, it's told in chronological order.
Yeah, there is.
That does exist? Okay.
Yeah, it's not backwards.
Yeah,
or
no, not,
anything
but it
like
could be
that.
just all jumbled up. Like, let's say the last thing that happens at a certain space is shown first, and then the first thing that happens in that space is just shown second.
Yeah, that will be very confusing.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so this page is so the first chapter is underground, the second chapter is on the ground floor, and the third is on the 11th floor, and it goes exponentially up. So this is the third 11th floor, and it's not the first page of issue 1, it's page 6. And I'm gonna use a tool that I never used here on the stream.
A dip pen.
It's a dip pen, but you see the nib is calligraphy nib.
Yeah.
It holds more because it has this cover here, the yellow shaped one, the gold shaped one.
Yeah.
It can hold more ink because of this, and instead of one separation line in the middle, it has 2, so it separates to three handles.
Right, 3 parts. Yeah.
And the reason for this is to be able to draw
thicker lines, right? Yeah.
Because you need much more ink.
And the surface tension of the ink wouldn't be enough if they parted that aggressively and there were just 2 separations at the end there. So I guess they needed to separate it into 3 in order to maintain.
It also makes it more flexible.
Yeah.
You can like go thin to thick more easily.
Yeah. If anyone has any questions about the process or the work, writing, drawing, inking, sketching, anything that you might find interesting to know, feel free to ask in the chat, and I'll funnel the questions to Nir as he works.
So the reason I use this tool is whenever I do, so this is a scene that you see a forest perspective. What's the name I'm looking for? Like distorted lens.
Fisheye lens?
It's all, yeah, it's almost like a fisheye lens, but you see the hand is very close to the camera, to the viewer,
Yeah.
and whenever I wanna depict something closer to the. It's funny for me. It's funny to say camera because there's no camera here.
No, but it's
It's the point of view.
yeah. But camera is also, I think, a valid way of framing it. Or,
So whenever there's an object closer to the point of view, I would usually do like make the lines of it more
thicker,
thick
yeah.
to indicate that it's bigger, closer,
Yes.
but not all the time. If it's an object that is not very important,
Yeah.
so there's a I always want to create a hierarchy of line thicknesses just to add more information to the scene, to the image.
I think the more that one does that, which I mean that when I say that, I mean find different ways of indicating space and distance and volume. The
And
more
anatomy
and anatomy,
yeah.
like the more of those sort of
hints,
and it's almost like a map that you're putting in place.
yeah.
The more that happens, it also makes the image readable much faster, understandable much faster to the viewer.
And there's the X factor.
Yeah.
It becomes more beautiful.
Yes, it also becomes more, I guess, I've always searched for a word because realistic is not the right word because it's a stylized art, right? You're not trying to be realistic.
Yeah, and also in reality, you don't see thicknesses of lines.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
There are no lines. Yeah. So the word that I settled on was legitimate. It almost like legitimizes the distance and the space and the volume that you're putting down on the paper, and you're like describing a volume and space with all these different tricks with the line width and the color, and
this is so satisfying. This specific tool.
maybe
I
you can
really
zoom
like
in
it.
on it a little bit. You have your manual zoom there. This is much better. Wow, the thickness variation on that is insane.
Yeah.
Look at that.
And also I can do like the thin lines if I like use it on to the side.
Right.
And not like you see I'm using it on the side of the tip here.
Yeah.
The lines are a bit thinner.
Do you find it easier to work with a dip pen than you do with a brush, for instance?
Yeah.
Is it because you just have more experience with dip pens, or?
No, I think it's more it's not easier, but for me specifically, I need I always feel like I need some resistance from the page itself, and with a brush you don't have it at all.
Right.
You need to do the thick and thin without any resistance. So you have to like choose the depth that you put the point of the brush at, and by that you indicate the width of the line. But it doesn't. The paper almost doesn't do anything to help you.
When you use a stiff brush, do you not feel like there's any resistance?
Much less than a dip pen.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
because this is rigid.
Yeah, it's a rigid implement. Yeah.
But I don't know if it's easier or harder.
No, the question was if it was for you. What do you find?
For me, it's easier.
Yeah.
Because I think you need to be more stable with your hands to use a brush.
Oh, interesting.
But you can practice that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like dip pens.
Yeah.
It's more like it's like more steampunk.
For sure. It's more steampunk, but it's also, I guess, like more technical. than a brush.
Yeah,
A brush is sort of chaotic in a way. There's a number of bristles that you're unaware of. I don't even know how many bristles are on the brush.
Mm-hmm.
That is a bit I guess like triggering in a way. And then also the bristles it can spatter, I think, more. It's more
Yeah.
likely to you have to dilute the paint more and think about.
Yeah, and you with a brush you can never do this like the dashed line here or the
You
very
could
things
do
that,
it, but it would take so much time.
yeah, it would take
It would
forever
take,
because you
yeah,
need to be very precise with the depth of your brush
right.
against the paper.
Yeah.
It will be almost impossible.
There's probably calligraphy masters out there or brushing, I don't know, brush masters that have a lot of control,
Yeah, so Tradmore does
does everything
everything.
with a brush,
Yeah, but
which
if
that's
you
crazy.
that's very crazy. But
Yeah.
if you look at his recent stuff, he
Mhm.
doesn't have really, really thin lines.
I don't think I've
Most of his
ever
lines,
seen his work having extremely thin lines.
I think he did in the past, like when he worked on Luther Strode, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he didn't do everything with a brush then.
I
But
wonder,
his new stuff,
hmm,
he told me that he does everything with a brush. So
I wonder if it became his preference or if there's any specific,
I think it's a thing about like simplicity, like to make your
right.
work more
He
simple.
just chose it at one point and he was like, okay, it's chosen. Now I have to learn how to do everything with
Yeah, but
this.
he's not the only one. So
No.
Brent McKee, for example,
Hmm.
also.
But
And
does Brent only use a brush exclusively?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't understand that though. Because why not use whatever's at your disposal?
I think it's a thing about like
Minimalism?
minimalism. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess. So you think that people that only use brushes for comic artwork are also more prone to live in a tiny house or
mm,
wear Japanese inspired clothing?
maybe.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
There's something in common with those types of the minimalistic approaches.
But there's a lot of artists that combine, like do brush and like sometimes whatever the tool, whenever the tool fits the specific job that they do,
I
they
think the most
switch.
wild one was the sponge that looks like an airbrush.
Oh yeah, that's Simone De Mio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
that's a
well,
very cool
I'm
technique.
pretty sure that most people that see it are like, okay, this is airbrushing, right?
Yeah,
But it's not. And
I think it did. It's when he started. He did use airbrush,
yeah,
but no, now it's just because it's too complicated to handle,
yeah.
like to clean specifically.
Yeah, actually I just airbrushed today. I spent an hour and a half airbrushing.
And did you clean it afterwards? Or
I didn't do a full in-depth take everything apart cleaning, but
Mhm.
I use lacquer thinner, like hardware store grade lacquer thinner, and I just spray it through the airbrush for a while,
Mhm.
and it cleans out mostly like 90% of what needs to be cleaned. And then an hour later, I'll take the needle out
Mhm.
and dunk it in some lacquer thinner and clean it off, and then it's usually fine.
Yeah.
So I've learned over the past 6 months of airbrushing, watching tutorials, but mostly making mistakes and learning how to fix them afterwards. I've learned that whenever I'm spraying metallic colors or colors that contain white, so large pigments and large particles, I'll use an airbrush that has a larger nozzle setup and a
Mhm.
larger needle setup. So that would be like a zero point 0.5 or 0.7 even. I don't really use the 7. And then when I'm using pre-thinned paints or paints that don't have any mica or metallic particles in them, I can use the 0.3. So I now have 2 airbrushes on the stand. And they weren't that expensive either. So
Yeah.
they're just there. And then I pick which one I need depending on the type of paint and what the detailing is like. If it's just a base coat or a priming coat, you can use a larger nozzle as well.
So you see that I can do everything on the page with when I do the characters, I use dip pens and I only have like these 3 and that's it.
Which 3?
Oh, it's
Maybe
not,
we can show the
yeah.
camera. Yeah. Okay.
So these are the only 3
Oh,
I
it's
have.
really aggressively backlit though.
Oh,
Yeah.
these
Are they all different brands?
no, they're all Tachikawa.
Okay.
That's a mapping Maru.
Right.
That's the smallest one there is.
Yeah.
That's a Zebra G pen,
Yeah.
but all the G pens are the same, almost the same. You see
When
the
you're
letter
done
G
inking for the day, how do you clean off the nibs?
like this. I did
Seriously?
that, yeah,
Is water enough to dissolve everything away?
water and just like this.
And rubbing it away.
Yeah,
Huh.
but I replace them once in a while, so they won't last for more than 2 weeks.
Right.
Even less than that. Not because of the ink that stays on them. It's because of the abrasion
Yeah.
on the tip, and it becomes
Too smooth or
no, it becomes like jagged and not even, and then the line, it's harder to establish like a straight line.
Right.
And yeah, this is a bit harder to clean because it has like the cover.
Yeah.
I think this one is actually they make them for calligraphy originally.
Is the one that separates into 3 parts.
Yeah, there are all kinds of
what is that one
nibs.
called?
I don't actually remember.
Yeah.
But oh, I forgot. I need to do this character. It's one of the main characters, the story.
On the bottom?
His name is Phil.
Okay.
Yeah, really. Phil the drone.
So I'm guessing there's some AI involved here.
Yeah, but it's not a thing.
Right.
It's a part of the story, but
it's not the main focus.
no. It's just sometimes you need like a secondary character.
A sidekick, for sure.
Yeah, sidekick, more or less.
Phil the sidekick
drone. Just to give the main character somebody to speak with.
Right.
So you can hear the voice of the You can't hear anything in a comic, but
yeah. I was watching an interesting program, I guess, on YouTube about synesthesia, yeah. And so obviously there's many different types of synesthesia, and they all are a product of cross-firing in the brain between different sensory perception areas.
Okay.
That is actually, they can show it on fMRI that it actually happens physically, and it's different from the average brain, the way that it processes information. So some people have any type of sense you can think of. There are people that blend between them, 2 or more senses. So some people can actually taste colors, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you know how they say that words have a color for synesthetes?
Mm-hmm.
So there's two different types within that group as well.
Synesthetes?
Synesthetes, yeah.
What is that? People that
People
have
that have synesthesia and experience it, yeah. So there's also two subcategories. One is, I think it's called overlay, and the other is associative, or I don't remember if the word was actually associative, but so let's say I have many people have a very slight type of synesthesia, which is they associate words or letters or numbers with specific colors. So obviously the colors that one would associate with the number 3, for instance, that's not true across the board for all of the synesthetes.
Mm-hmm.
It's very personal. Yeah, so where was I going with this? So some people see the actual color on the page that they're looking at, which is called an overlay. So
What do you mean?
let's say I write the numbers 1, 4, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
They'll look at the page and they'll see a slight tinge of the color that they associate with the letter, but they'll actually see it, which is, I guess,
Something
more,
the brain does.
yeah, it's an overlay.
Yeah.
And then you have people who hear music and they,
I wonder if it's a superpower, if they can do anything with it
I
to
mean,
help them somehow.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard of anyone use it in a way that would allow them to do things that other people can't do. The only similar but dissimilar thing that comes to mind is there was man that became blind and started clicking and doing echo. He taught himself
Oh
how to
yeah,
do
I
echolocation,
remember that. Yeah, I saw
but that
that.
it's not synesthesia, but it's like that would be considered some sort of superpower, I guess.
Yeah, it's
You can see in a different
what's his
way.
name? The blind
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Yeah, so you can. This is like real people seeing visual information, receiving spatial information about the environment without the use of their eyes. 0% use of their
Yeah,
eyes.
this specific person, he started doing that when he was very young.
Right.
And they think his brain is actually building something like a simulation of the space.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually sees it. It's not like only in the ears.
Yeah.
Because what we see is in the brain, it's not in the eyes.
Right.
So they think he actually has like a map of the environment.
Yeah, I guess like the eyes are more of a window and the brain is more of the perception apparatus. The eyes are the nipples of the face. That everyone knows that. So
I don't know what that means.
I think it's a Drag Race
By the
reference.
way, we are having so it's starting to be pretty hot in Toronto.
In one day.
In one day.
Just today it started.
Today it was 19 degrees Celsius, which is not hot.
No.
It's nice.
But it's much hotter than it was last week.
Yeah, but inside the condo, it's more than that. I think it's 25 here.
Yeah.
And the AC is giving us some problems.
Yeah, I guess the building has to switch the AC mode from heating to cooling.
Yeah, so if I start sweating, which I think I'm starting a little bit, because drawing, if anybody in the chat draws,
Yeah.
they know that it takes a lot of energy from you. So it's yeah. In the summer, I have to use the AC when I draw.
I think today was the first day in which we left the balcony door open for more than a few minutes.
And it wasn't freezing.
And it wasn't freezing. It was nice.
It was the first day that you can't put food outside, like in the balcony.
To quick freeze it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty hot during the summer, but we might get some use out of the balcony, even though we're right on top of an expressway.
Oh yeah, the noise.
Hmm. You can't hear anything with the window and the balcony door shut. But once it's
But if
open,
you use the headphones outside,
when I'm working on in the balcony, yes, I put just over-ear headphones on.
and it's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, they're also noise canceling, and I just blast whatever I'm listening to, music, a podcast, and yeah, so that's for like painting outside.
I don't think we've tried using the. Oh, I smudged it. I don't think we tried using the AC while streaming, so I'm not sure if it does, if it's noisy.
Nah, it'll probably be okay.
Okay, so I did all the, except here. Maybe I'll do some of the blacks here. Okay, I think we explained it before, but I before I do the blacks,
Hmm.
I go over the tips of the black
Shapes, the
shapes,
areas, yeah. So that you know that they're filled in and because you're going to be using a
thicker
thicker,
tool, and then I
yeah,
won't be able
wider.
to do the small tips of the black shapes.
Mhm.
I'm going from thin to thicker.
Why is it that sometimes you draw X's or lines in the black shapes and sometimes you don't? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes I know I might forget
Okay.
about a specific area.
But what makes you decide that you might forget a specific area?
Like if it's a small area and it's not like maybe here, this
Yeah,
will I might
yeah.
forget, or here I
Hmm.
might forget this. And if you have an X, you always see it.
So I went climbing outdoors in Ontario. We did some sport climbing. I went with a few new friends from the climbing gym, and we were climbing a route, and there was a big X on one of the pieces of the cliff, which in climbing
Says no.
lingo means do
No.
not touch, do
Don't,
not use,
no.
dangerous. It's loose, it's chossy, it might,
Break.
detach, and you shouldn't weight this in any way, right? But the X was so big, usually we use the chalk, which is like it's the natural substance, it's magnesium powder that we use to keep our hands dry while climbing. We take a piece of chalk and we just put an X on the stone. But the X, I guess, was old and also really, really large. So it just looked like a natural coloring of the rock.
Okay. So
And then,
are you sure it was an X that
yes,
somebody
yeah,
marked?
we're pretty sure because when the first of our gang climbed the route or climbed close to the route and looked at it, it seemed fishy to them. It seemed a bit more detached than it should be. Like almost nothing was holding it on there.
What was it? Like a piece of rock?
Yeah, it was just a part of the rock face that, so over time, obviously the cliff changes, right?
Yeah.
It was a part of the rock face that just seemed, there are different methods for determining whether you should be pulling on something. One of them is tapping it and listening to the sound and feeling with your fingers the vibration.
Like determining if watermelon is ripe.
Yeah, it's sort of like watermelon, but a bit different, but I guess in the same vein. And so the people that were climbing right after us, they asked about the route, and we said,
No,
No,
don't.
you can climb it, but just pay attention to the part in the middle that has a big X on it." And they said, "Okay."
Oh, did you do the route
Yeah, I don't remember.
without
I don't.
without using the part
Yeah,
like the
we didn't use that part. We
oh
just found a different way because you can, especially on the lower grades, you can find many different ways of doing because
yeah.
you can use the whole thing, right? It's not like in the climbing gym when you have basically an empty wall shape, and then they apply holds on it. And
But also in the climbing gym, you can use other holds that are not in the color that your route is in.
What do you mean? Like spray climbing?
Yeah,
Yeah, but outdoors it's potentially way more
you have more
dense.
options.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Japan, in a gym in Japan, where they have like so many holds on the wall.
Oh yeah, you're talking about like the spray walls there for sure. And so they climbed the route after us, and when he reached the X rock, he didn't tap it, he didn't like lightly touch it or look behind it or anything. He just grabbed it and pulled on it as hard as possible.
What?
And nothing, it didn't move. But I mean, these types of things, they don't move at all until they do. And then
you didn't tell them that
we
there's
did.
an X?
Yeah, we told them.
Okay.
They didn't care. And then later on, we saw some sport climbers that were using all the equipment and everything. They had harnesses and rope, and they were lead climbing, but they were climbing barefoot.
Why?
And there's snakes. I mean, we saw a few snakes there. They didn't look poisonous, but I'm pretty sure there probably are a small number of poisonous snakes there.
There's a specific French climber that lives in nature. I think
Yeah,
we
he
saw
lives
it
in
together.
Fontainebleau.
He also climbs.
I think his name is like
barefoot.
Charles, or not Charles, but something with a
Barefoot Charles.
yeah, barefoot something. Barefoot some guy that lives
in the woods.
in Fontainebleau. Charles, yeah. So it's Charles Albert.
Yeah, climbing without shoes feels like
They just
sketchy.
climb. They just climb barefoot, which I guess is it's a choice.
Isn't it dangerous?
I mean, is walking outside barefoot dangerous? It's sort of similar.
No, it's more than that. I think it's more.
I think the most dangerous thing about that where we were was that
snakes.
No, not the snakes, but there was so many pieces of broken glass scattered amongst the rocks.
Really?
At the crag. Yeah. Apparently,
why?
At some point someone gave it a nickname that has to do with like drinking beer or something.
Oh.
And then because of the nickname,
people go there.
There now to drink. Non-climbers go there to drink. And then for some reason they just smash the bottles there and don't clean up after themselves.
Very not Canadian.
Very un-Canadian. Very strange behavior. And I guess that would be the most dangerous part of being barefoot there. But yeah, we saw a goose that was nesting and was very interested in our climbing technique.
Geese can be dangerous if you disturb them, especially if they have chicks.
If they're nesting, yeah.
So was it close to you? Or?
It was at the top, so it was like whenever anyone finished that route, they would get yelled at by the goose.
Oh, everybody stop. I'm gonna do something that you like very much.
Okay. Not just I like it, everyone likes it.
Yeah, I said. That's what I meant.
Look at this.
Everybody.
Could there be anything better? And what does it smell like? It also has an aroma, right?
It smells like glue, I guess. It's acrylic.
Oh, does it not smell like grapes or something?
Grapes?
I remember there was some sort of Sharpie.
This? No, it smells like ink.
Yeah, this smells like ink, like a very slight ink smell. But there was, I believe it was some type of marker. It might have been a specific type of Sharpie that had a grape smell to it.
Grape?
And it was black.
Like by mistake or deliberate?
I don't know.
Somebody did it deliberately?
I don't know. I mean, it didn't smell exactly like grapes. And I couldn't tell if it was deliberate or not, but I guess it reminded me of grapes. And I wasn't having a stroke.
Was it ink or paint?
I think it was ink.
That I used?
No, that I used. It might be the Sharpie. Let me test my
No,
theory.
Sharpie doesn't have a smell almost at all.
I'm gonna test my theory. Okay, so this is a Sharpie. Oh no, this is a Bic marker. Let's see what this smells like. Here, smell this. Tell me it doesn't remind you of cherry.
No, it's it's the same smell. Sharpies.
Yeah,
Sharpie.
I smell a slight cherry
Maybe
smell.
you have synesthesia.
I have the lightest form of synesthesia. So I associate days of the week, names, and numbers with colors. But I don't see the colors. When I'm reading something, I don't see an overlay. I just associate it with a color. And that's apparently a very, very widespread type of synesthesia.
I wouldn't call it synesthesia.
No, they do though. It's called synesthesia. But it's the widest spread type, the most common type.
Okay. That's another fat one.
It's a different marker. Oh, this is a chisel tip.
Yeah, it's a bit more. So the other one is the biggest. It has the biggest tip,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the.
You can get a little more tight into the corners.
Yeah, just a little bit more, and it has it. I can like put just a little pressure, and a lot of ink comes out, so it's faster to fill all of the areas here. After that, then I'll switch to a.
I've been using a paint type that is for the blackest black that is commercially available.
Not the one that Anish Kapoor owns?
No, the one that's commercially available. It's called Musso Black. It's an acrylic base, and you can paint it on various different types of materials and surfaces. So paper, plastic, wood. I used it on wood recently on one of the figurines that we were displaying at C2E2. And it really is like it's not even, I wouldn't even call it matte. It's just, it absorbs so much light that it doesn't have any finish to it. It's almost like when it's fresh, it looks like void.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I saw that.
You did. I painted it around the base of the Gino figurine. So.
Oh, the rim of the base?
Yeah, just the rim, the outside.
Yeah, okay.
And.
Do you think the Anish Kapoor one is more
I do.
black?
I think it's more black, yeah.
I think it's nanotechnology. That's what I remember. It's like...
Isn't everything nanotech? I mean...
No.
No?
No.
I mean, whenever you do anything that is chemistry based...
Yeah, but it needs to be something that manipulates the material in the nano scale.
What does this color do that manipulates the material? And isn't it just like carbon fiber or something?
I don't remember. Maybe. So maybe it's not nanotech.
Is Vanta Black nanotech? Vanta Black is a form of nanotechnology. It is composed of a dense forest of vertically aligned carbon nanotubes.
Yeah, okay.
But how? The carbon nanotubes are grown on a substrate, and when the light hits this forest, it bounces endlessly between the tubes until it's absorbed. It's not a paint. It's grown using a chemical vapor deposition process.
Yeah.
It turns 3D objects into 2D looking voids. So yeah, I think the Musso Black eliminates like 96% of the light that reaches it. And I think the Vanta Black is more along the lines of 98 or 99%, probably.
Yeah. But does it still own the rights to use it? So nobody else can use the color?
Let's
or
see.
the material? Or
Yeah, he still holds exclusive rights to Vanta Black in artistic applications. So if it were used for a scientific purpose,
Yeah.
I guess they could license it and use it in that way, but he holds the sole exclusive rights for artistic applications of Vanta Black.
And did he do anything with it recently?
Um,
Or was it just showing everybody that he owns it?
I don't know.
I think it's stupid.
What?
Like, why did he do that? Like, only I can use it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's not mature. It's
No, also I think art isn't it, wouldn't it be better to just allow everyone to use it and
exactly.
make the best use that anyone could out of it?
Yeah.
I mean, it is immature, but it also sort of speaks to insecurity more than immaturity.
Yeah, as if he thinks that
Oh no, if they can do
if
it,
they can do it, it
then
will be
they'll be able
better
to
than
do
me.
what
Yeah.
I do. But I mean, you shouldn't think that way because the guy made gigantic, complex structures in various materials. I don't think everyone
I think
is able to do that.
yeah, I really like some of his work, but a lot of his stuff is meh. I think he's a bit more a politician, I think, than a artist. But what do I know?
No, you should know though. I mean, who better to ask? You're an architect, you're an artist, you've done extensive interior design work, you've used a variety of different materials.
Yeah, so I think he's a better architect than an artist because his spaces are interesting.
Right.
His gallery works that are spaces, and also the statues that are more like affecting the space, like the Chicago statue there. It looks like more like a building than art.
Yeah. I have to say, so you remember the controversy about Vanta Black, and then there was an artist that made the pinkest pink.
Yeah.
So that person's name is Stuart Semple. And I must say, I ordered some pigments, well, not pigments, but like acrylic paints from that website. I think it's called Culture Hustle. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not, yeah, Stuart. Yeah, it's called Culture Hustle. So there was a sort of, I'd say like a type of cyan or
Oh yeah, you showed
or
me
like a
that.
light green that was pretty saturated.
You showed me that.
And
but did you try to
I
open
did.
it?
I did try to use it. I couldn't use it. It was too watered down. It just like rolled off the surface, or it left a really, really thin film that wasn't opaque in any way. And I would wait for it to dry and then use another layer, but it was just so, and obviously shaken vigorously and stirred with a stirring rod.
I don't even understand the like what they said about it.
They say it's the coloriest color. So they say that like as far as
what does that mean?
yeah,
I don't know what are the I don't understand.
it says
the
it's
meaning.
it's a lot
What's
of
the
like
colorist color?
I think it's a lot of sort of like bombastic, dramatic announcements about something that is just basically a very watered down color that is really hard to use in any way. But it says it's not so much a color, I'm reading off the website, but the experience of a color. They've done it by firing lasers at a specific cone inside the retina of a human eye, and the result is a totally new color experience. So that's, I think, something about how people experience the color that they couldn't experience before. And then I guess that inspired them to try to make a very similar kind of pigment.
Okay,
but
you
it didn't really
can you
work.
bring it here and show it to the camera?
I can bring it, yeah, and I'll show it to the camera. And then I also ordered the whitest white, which was also super watered down. So it wasn't just like a one-time, one-bottle problem. It seems to be an overall production quality issue. Yeah, I'll bring it for you to see. Let's see if I can find it. All right, so I found the coloriest color one. And then the white 2.0, I believe it was called. I'm gonna grab that too and show what I was talking about. Yeah, this is white 2.0. So this is supposed to be the coloriest color, which in theory sounds good, but
it's not the
I couldn't. Yeah,
colorist color.
I couldn't use it neither on paper nor on plastic. It
And
just
also,
wouldn't.
it's just a hospital color.
Yeah, so I have a different brand's acrylic, sort of light green color, and that was opaque. I believe it was a Vallejo, and it was just perfect. I used that instead for what I needed. This is also the white, it's called white 2.0. I don't know, I might have gotten a bad batch, but yeah, my review is a 0 out of 10.
I think it's the same thing. It's more publicity than.
Yeah, but if you're
than
already selling products, why not make them good? Why not make them usable? Have you,
because it's a stunt.
Jamie's has a question. Have you ever created a piece that surprised even you when you finished it?
Hmm.
I'm sure it's happened to you.
Yes, but no, it's hard for me to remember anything. I'll have to think about it because my pieces are very planned. All my stuff is very so because I do the sketch digitally, so I have a lot of control and I can like save, load, undo. So if I don't like something, I can change it. But there's still some so the inking phase, you still continue to work on the art because when I finish the sketch, it's not always easy to understand how the final will look like. So I think I have an answer maybe. So I don't know if anybody remembers the I did the Absolute Superman cover art for it was for an auction that raised money for a charity. I think they sold it the art the cover recently. But for me it was just another commission. I didn't think that it's gonna be so it attracted a lot of attention. A lot of people liked it, and I think it did come out very distinct. And I think it was all about because it was a fast piece. I think it took me somewhere around maybe 2 hours, 3 hours total, which is not a lot. And it's also small. It's on the comic book size.
Right.
It wasn't even A3, it was more like A4. But I think the choice, the thing that people liked that makes the piece is the composition choice.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can we show it?
it's not here, but
No, is there like a scan of it somewhere?
yeah, there's a scan of it in the commissions folder or my Instagram.
Okay, let me see here.
So when I worked on the piece, I thought it's just another commission of, like, I do a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a small one, and the smaller ones are harder to make them stand out because there's not a lot of space on the page.
Can you pick it out from the folder?
Yeah, this.
Okay, yeah.
Look, this is clip. It's gonna open Photoshop. You have a JPEG folder somewhere.
At the top, maybe.
Yeah, or you can show it on Photoshop. Yeah, it's this.
All right, I'm gonna show it on the screen. It really is a very good piece. I haven't seen the image in a while.
Yeah, so I think I was surprised by so it was simple,
Yeah,
and I always need to remind myself that complexity doesn't equal beauty.
right. Not
So
necessarily, anyway.
yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah.
It can add beauty or it can reduce beauty. Depends on how you use
Or it
it.
can have nothing to do with beauty.
Yeah,
Because really
exactly.
simple things can be beautiful too.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that it's a simple piece per se.
compared to my other commissions, it's small. It's very small.
Yeah.
And like, look at the Iron Man, for example. Show the Iron Man. This.
Yeah.
This took at least twice the amount of time.
Right.
To do. I think it was something about the pose that I chose and together with the composition that worked.
Yeah.
So I did have so I chose the pose and I chose the composition. I did everything, but I didn't know that it's gonna come out with that amount of impact.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is really cool.
Yeah, when they got it, they told me they had to like look at it for a long time to make sure it's actually traditional and not a print.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. It's starting to be so hot in here. It's impossible. Or is it just me because I'm drawing?
No, yeah, it is you. I don't feel what you're
No, because
feeling.
it's always like that when I'm drawing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the movement, it's more about the thinking. So my brain takes most of the energy, I think.
Jamie asks, what made you do the Superman on A4? Well, the answer is that it was a commission for the cover of a comic book, basically. So it was on a physical book.
Yeah.
So it just dictated the size.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, Jamie, but some the big two, Marvel and DC, they do most of their books, their single issues, they do some of them they print without a cover, like with white empty cover
Exactly that
to, yeah,
purpose.
for
Yeah.
that purpose.
For
So,
commissions to be done
yeah,
on the cover of the book. And then that way you have a one of a kind
yeah,
book, right? Because you're not just attaching a commission to something that exists, it's actually on the cover.
yeah. So every show I get at least one of these
And they always turn out
types.
great.
Yeah,
Even though, didn't you say that the paper type was not
yeah,
the
the
best,
paper,
not the smoothest,
yeah, it
or
wasn't a great paper.
yeah.
That's another thing. I was thinking it wasn't gonna turn out okay at all because the paper was very bad, and I started with the eye, I think, and the eye turned out wonky, and I had to delete it, and I used some whiteout. But nobody sees the thing I see.
Except for
Eventually,
me. I see everything.
you see everything.
It's a curse and a boon at the same time.
So I'm using 0.3 because I don't have 0.2.
Yeah.
They're both in a bathtub.
Do you think it might work?
Maybe the older one, it might work. The not Rotring, the Faber-Castell, these ones. I
Yeah.
think this one works. But yeah, it was very clogged. But I think the Rotring one is something happened to it. It's not because I cleaned it for a long time.
Yeah.
I was also thinking it might be the ink itself.
Isn't the ink not, I mean, when you put the cap back on, isn't the ink not supposed to clog and dry that way?
To not dry.
Yeah.
If you put the cap, yeah, it's supposed to stay.
So how does it become clogged?
It's so thin
Yeah.
that it becomes clogged. It doesn't matter.
There should be a different technology. I think the ink should flow on the outside and not the inside. It shouldn't be a hollow tube. It should be like a solid
Yeah, so I
rod.
think there is a different technology, and it's called digital.
No, well, I'm talking about actual physical
Because,
medium.
but think about it. Almost no one uses it.
Yeah.
There's no like occupation that needs this.
Why do they still make them?
Some companies don't make them. This is like a vintage
Set.
set.
Yeah,
They
but there
don't
still
make
are
them.
modern
No,
in production. No?
Faber-Castell, no.
They don't make them
They
anymore?
don't make them.
All right.
Rotring
I
is the
guess you need
only.
to stock up on them if you want to continue using them because you won't have the ability to purchase new ones at some point.
Maybe. That's it. I was thinking about maybe switching back to microns.
This is
I
the
started with microns before I used them. I only started using them after OAX 2024. Before that, I only used microns.
yeah. Before at this point when she still doesn't have the white outlines for her pants
Yeah.
and her shoes, it almost looks like her body's been severed, like her torso severed off from the rest of her body.
Yeah.
Body decapitated.
Body decapitated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of
It's
jokes from
it's like when they said they invented head transplant or
right.
body transplant or
No, they called it a head. They called it
head
a head
transplant,
transplant.
and it's supposed to be a body
It is a
transplant.
body transplant. It just drove me nuts that they kept on calling it a head transplant. It's not like your body gets a new head. Your head is what you are.
Yeah.
You get a new body.
Yeah, but it didn't work, or what I think it was a Chinese
I don't think that
Chinese
we're anywhere close to being able to do that.
yeah.
I don't think so.
And it's actually pretty weird, because if you think about it, if you attach everything to the right place,
Yeah.
it's supposed to work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you think,
Theoretically,
theoretically, if you think about it in a mechanical way,
yeah.
it's
No
like
reason it shouldn't
if
work.
you reattach the plumbing to the correct
Well, you have to, first of
locations.
all, you have to make sure that during the transfer of the new body to the freshly severed you, which is the head, that the brain doesn't undergo any oxygen deprivation damage.
Yeah.
So you have to figure that part out. And then that's I think like the first and biggest major hurdle that you have to figure out. And then the second one would obviously be connecting all of the delicate different types of tissues and
Yeah,
items
of course,
together.
it's insanely impossible, but
Yeah.
technically, I think it's should be possible.
Yeah, technically, I mean, if your technology is sufficient, there shouldn't be a reason why it wouldn't work. But it just constantly drives me nuts that they call it a head transplant, like a liver transplant or a finger
I mean,
transplant.
we invented the blackest color. How can we
Yeah.
not? I mean,
Could you imagine if Anish Kapoor had
the only
the
license
sole
to use
exclusive rights to use
head
head
transplants.
transplants in our
But-
in
but-
artistic
But everybody else,
framework?
but everybody else could use body transplant.
Right.
Only Anish
Rob
Kapoor.
asks, what is Nir's favorite Radiohead or Tom York album?
Hmm.
Hard.
I'm gonna be as I am always,
Which is
antagonistic, or like militant.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I guess you
Uh,
can say you're antagonistic.
And I'm gonna say King of Limbs.
Oh, I don't even know if I know that album. Maybe I know one or two tracks off of it.
Yeah, I think it's the least favorite album that people like, for most people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the least favorite.
Really? Why do you like it the most? Is that the reason you like it the most?
No, I think it's very interesting. It's an album that is very inspired by krautrock, which is a type of music that was invented in Germany, of course.
Right, sauerkraut.
It's very monotonic and very like, it looks
Droning.
like it seems as if it doesn't change a lot.
Right.
And the first song there is, I think, one of the best Radiohead song. Bloom, I think, the name of the song.
Yeah. Rob says, underrated but great. Codex is my favorite song on it.
Yeah, also a great
I
song.
like the word codex. It also contains my name.
But of course, when I started listening to Radiohead, I I I liked OK Computer the most. And when Key Day came out, I really liked Key Day.
I think that's
so
my favorite album.
yeah,
I
it's
just
also
think Kid
also-
A is a perfect album.
yeah, it's a perfect album.
If you listening
it
to
is.
it from start to finish is just an experience.
But you
that
always
is,
skip Three Fingers.
I don't like Tree Fingers, but other than that, I think it's a perfect album. Yeah. This is the point where we show what you've done so far, your progress on the inking of the page, by turning off the light table and turning on the overhead lamp.
Yeah, after I finish this line.
Of course.
Because
And
if I don't finish it, I will forget.
And sometimes you show the finished work of last week's live stream. I don't know if that's something that you have ready.
I don't remember. What did I do last week?
I think it was Helix Sky as well. Or did you do a commission maybe last time?
Oh, yeah.
Could have been mailed already, possibly.
I don't remember. So yeah, this is
Here, let me unzoom so we can see the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. So I've done it's a splash page. So it's only one character. So I managed to finish the character itself. And
oh, there's two characters. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, fill the
the sidekick.
Yeah. And just a part of this building here in the foreground. And I have a lot of architecture here in the background to do.
Yeah.
And so this morning I already showed this, but
yeah,
I've done this.
It was sabotaged by a faulty.
It was sabotaged by a faulty technical pen. So this is all I managed to do
so far.
And last time, I think I can't show this.
Nope.
Was it a commission?
It was a commission, yeah.
Of what?
Jamie, do you remember what the commission was of? What was depicted in it?
If it's a commission, it must be here because I have a package to send. These are all Helix Sky. Oh yeah. That.
So right. Right.
Martian Manhunter.
Can we show the colored version? Because
maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay.
Because I don't know if he saw it.
Right. Okay.
But there's some interesting stuff that I've done here.
Yes.
First of all, the alien in the background is only in negative shapes, and I like it to be seems not very
readable.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Almost like a texture.
Yeah.
But if you know what you're looking for, you see a face here.
Yes.
And you see like fingers.
Yeah.
And there's also one interesting thing that I've done here. So all of this, the
you can zoom in on it,
are done in a single line.
So it's all one non-overlapping as well, or does it overlap?
With overlap?
With overlaps, but it's one single
continuous line.
Yeah, that's nuts. I guess it does give you, looking at the piece overall, does give you the feeling of like, I guess, psychedelic feeling.
Yeah, that was the idea, because it's in the character. So, but if you look on the entire page, I wanted some of it to be very, very detailed here.
Right.
But it's like something like maybe 15%. Most of the page is white and black. And there's some details here.
And the commission, just to add for the sake of precision, the commission also included digital coloring.
Yeah.
But we'll show that in one of the next upcoming live streams.
So you get, you also get, and it's a reference to a famous, very interesting and weird looking painting that we talked about.
Yes, we did.
We talked about.
Yeah, while you were inking it, we showed it, put it up on the screen, and talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch back to talking cam. And thank you for joining us once again. It was a pleasure to see every one of you in the chat and interact with you. Join us again next week, same time, same location.
Yeah, and tomorrow and the rest of the week I'm gonna stream more, because I finished inking the project that I couldn't show in the streams. And you can also listen to music, because there's gonna be some interesting music,
some
in
sound
the background
happening that will be affected by your hand movement.
Will be affected by the
gestures. Take care, everyone. See you, Jamie. See you, Rob.
Bye.
And everyone that was on today. And we'll see you next time. Good night, Supergirl on Fire.